Also,
Congratulations on your appointment. I heard you rejected it.
Hey, we're gonna call this, we're just like, yeah.
Okay, we're live.
Oh, okay.
So this is you have one.
No, seriously. Hey, I'm calling the meeting to order now. Peanut Gallery, get finished your gallery talking. I'm calling this meeting to order now, 4:17 p.m. on this Thursday, January 8th.
Okay, Madam Chair, can we just test? Cesar, can you hear us?
I'm here, present.
Hello, Cesar.
Hello, how you guys?
Is DJ on the horn?
Not yet.
Okay. All right, welcome everyone to this edition of Commission on this 47-degree day in January. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes of the last meeting? And if
Please, I must apologize because I got sick over the break, firstly. And secondly, this microphone does not pick up well. So when I went to the Zoom transcript, it was all over the place. So I had a hard time. Sorry.
well, does anyone have a motion to approve the minutes?
I move to approve the minutes.
Thank you, Dina Suggs.
Second.
Second by Ward Mintz. Any questions, updates, corrections?
Sorry, I actually did have a question about the minutes. It says it is hopeful Zach Bowman will be the MC of the event, but in my recollection, that was kind of said jokingly. Is that really the committee's position? I'm talking, this is at the bottom of the first full paragraph. Yeah, is that really the committee's position as hopeful Zach will be the MC of the event? Because in my recollection, it was kind of like it was a joking remark.
I don't think it was totally joking at all. I think that he's done such great work being the MC of many events that there was a sense that it would be great if he were. So I don't think it's, I don't think it's
I don't know, Zach, so I can't.
you'd like to do.
Okay.
Maybe that could be amended for the
My positive.
yeah, or Ward is hopeful that Zach will be the MC.
Why did she consider that?
It just struck me as like a position of the committee, but I'm not sure that everybody.
Oh, no, I think if one person. Yeah. I mean,
It's a minor point. It's really just
no
a question.
problem.
How about
Taking it on.
someone mentioned Zach Bowman is a possibility, is a possible MC for the event.
Right, or it was mentioned.
Yeah.
Passive construction.
It's all right, passive construction. Doesn't put the onus on the singular.
Happy New Year.
Okay, any other comments, questions, corrections? All right, then, may I have a vote of, in favor with an aye of approval of the minutes? Any nays in the house? Please speak up or forever hold your peace. I'm sorry. Hold the peace. Okay, thank you. It's unanimous approval. I'm a little punchy. There's some rosemary shortbreads for everyone if you'd like a little more. Oh, I got it. This is from Calcutta Kitchens. They they sell the cookies individually, but then they have a box of broken ones that's like a very good value.
I've never had rosemary shortbread.
It's delightful.
Anybody having one?
Not up to you.
They're not too sweet.
Not too sweet and buttery. Moving on, so we have a new common council official liaison for 2026. Welcome Sarah Pasty, officially, unofficially.
Meetings anyway, it sort of makes sense to me, but they're officially coming to meetings.
And also, our regular in-house Maggie Inch, congratulating her appointment to the Ulster County Arts Commission. Of course, Sarah.
So the two of us will
The
be.
two.
Will you still come to our meetings or? No.
I'm planning to, for some reason you don't want it.
We don't want to.
It seems really fortuitous to have you both at both meetings. I think it's helpful.
Yeah, and that way, if one of us forgets what was said, then the other one can remind. Could we have read like your role as Ulster County Arts Commission Open Spaces officers or commissioners? Oh, what is our role? Yeah, well, I think that's, yeah. And that we'll find out. We will find out, but I think in the original plan, the idea was that we would serve as advisors to
Yeah, I
the
think
Ulster
that-
County Executive and to the Director of Arts, Culture and Open Spaces.
Yeah, I
And
think
to the
it's,
legislature. Essentially, we're advisors, who can be called.
yeah, I don't think that you
Together,
get the term
We're not-
commission or.
No, we're not a commission. Advisory, we're an advisory council.
Are there?
There will be.
But we haven't had our first meeting because,
It just happened.
right, it hasn't happened yet. What's the first not scheduled?
And, but it's, excuse me, really quickly, it's also great that you two are with us because you're the Kingston folks on that committee.
I know, it worked out very nicely.
Yeah. You took the
They
Kingston spot.
selected us.
Is there a reason there's not a commission
And
for this? For
versus a committee, it's versus a commission or a council, what's it?
It's a council, but I mean, we had to take, oath of office. So it's an official,
So it's basically a commission with by another name.
Yeah, council or commission, it really,
Right, no, that's what, no,
Yeah.
that's what I was,
right, but we are there in an advisory position, we don't.
Yeah, but in the
that's what we are
fire,
too.
right, they're just,
Exactly, same
there are more rules around the commission. I was at another commission last night. It's, I think, more of a technicality, frankly. You're valued advisors.
That's right, that's exactly what we will be.
Yeah, and it's great to have the link. With that, and I don't know, maybe some of us should be going there too.
It's gonna be on Zoom. The Arts Advisory Council
Oh.
meetings, I think, for the most part, because it incorporates people as far away as Ellenville and Shamrock and
Although-
everything.
No,
certainly, or whenever possible, I think, any person, because I'm assuming based on absolutely nothing. That will rotate, that to the extent that there is in person, that it will,
it's an advisory council.
yeah.
I guess it remains to
Advisory
be seen.
committee.
Well, I personally am very happy to have two Kingston, Maggie as the advisor, Sarah Pasty as the appointed official from the Common Council represented on that council or whatever it's called. Because it ties in, with what we're doing.
Yeah.
It will help to bridge the communications better, although, I do have dialogue with the Director of Arts, Culture and Open Spaces. I'm also extremely busy, so I don't know the plans moving forward, especially for the first year out of the starting gate. So it's good because you all are sitting here that you can advise on, what we're doing as a commission, what I'm doing as a well-established arts and culture department. And, the help that we need from the county, the support that we need from the county moving forward. So I'm glad that both of you have been appointed.
Does do the arts in Ulster County have a budget other than the salary?
No, just the salary.
Yeah, just the salary. There's a tourism budget.
Right.
But they really, I would say that they are much more focused on the promotion of tourism
Mhm.
of the county.
Which will include the arts, because the arts are part of tourism, but yeah, it doesn't have a separate budget. Correct.
There's some grant making that's also available. That's sort of what's happening in terms of the Rev 250. I think it's sort of focused on historical, but of course there's a lot of overlapping.
They're going to be
They are,
having
yeah,
a
they're,
engaged grant making process.
That was
Yeah.
the cultural.
it's coming out. It's actually, I think this is through the clerk's office.
Yeah.
Oh,
Actually, now that I think,
interesting.
sorry, I was in a meeting with all of them today.
Right.
So it's up to 2,500.
I was gonna talk about that when we get to the strategy and funding.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
Okay,
Great.
agenda.
All right.
I just want to ask, can we make sure that our commission is on the mailing list then for, to be notified when there's meetings?
Are your, it's already open to the public?
It's all,
I would
it's
say-
all on the county legislature website. It's also in the Daily Freeman. So all of the meetings are published.
They have to be
In
public, from
advance.
what I understand,
Yeah.
because there's an open meeting law in New York State, so they
Right,
can be
okay,
anyone.
yeah.
So are they are they live like we are on YouTube then?
I don't know, but I'm assuming so.
Yeah, it's similar.
I assume it's
Executive.
very similar.
So sure, because I mean, certainly in some respects, but I'm not sure about the
Live stream.
live
Yeah, I
stream,
don't think they do.
because I'm not sure
The
that's
Planning
live
board
stream.
doesn't live stream.
Oh, you're just doing recordings.
Yeah, no, we got a live story.
I think that's it, yeah. There will at least be recordings.
They're recording.
But the public can come to your meetings or they're closed? You don't know yet.
Yeah, we haven't had our first
Yeah, we
meeting.
haven't had it.
So we don't know.
Typically, they are open
Yeah.
and they're very
Right.
attended.
We should have had a meeting by the time we get to the next Arts Commission.
Yeah.
Great.
So,
All right. Thank you. All very
and we
good
will be happy
information.
to relay any comments or anything that comes out of these meetings to that group.
Excellent. All right, any other comments to this end? Moving on. Distinguished Arts Award 2026 update. I don't have anything directly to update. Do either Dina or Cicely?
No, a little slow getting started.
So I just, giving everybody the questionnaire for the nomination
Awesome.
form. That's what we have to put out at the end of the month. So these are the questions that have been on that form for quite a while and, if anybody had anything to add to that, I also, sent it to the committee co-chairs and Lisa. But this will be the way that the, call for nominations goes out. So if there's any missing questions there, please let me know and I'll modify the form. Where the way we have been doing it is that it comes through my office. After it's announced, the press release goes out and, I receive through that, form. I receive all the nominations and then I just, get them all together and I'll get them to the committee. And then we proceed from there with your selection committee. I did note, the conversation, the last, meeting about, selecting the, selection members. And, again, the recording was fractured, so, just the notes that I remember, that I took is that, there'll be an effort to make sure that it's diverse and that there's youth representing. And, Dina, since you had that amazing Sojourner Truth Awards filled with youth, I'm thinking that perhaps one of them could be asked to be on this. I think they did, from.
Yeah, let me go back and see who's.
There's a lot of kids that
Yeah,
got that
right,
award.
did. And Cicely, my partner in crime, we are due to. So apologies, but I did get very ill, so we're a little bit, we're just beginning the process.
I just
It will be done.
hope that there is appropriate representation of performing arts, visual arts and media arts
Literally.
I had a couple maybe suggestions on
Love
this.
it.
So first of all, the first, prompt box, question, number one is email, and the third is your email. And, that's either redundant, or one should be nominee's email, and the other should be nominators.
That's how I remember nominating. That's
I think Google Forms have a automatic, if you have a Gmail account, it'll ask you to sign in or something like that. I think that's a Gmail function.
And it records it automatically.
Yeah,
The
duplicate
okay, in
email.
this printout, it has an asterisk to it, which has it as an indicated required question, rather than something that would be pre-populated by
I wanted-
the account,
Yeah,
but
but some people that do fill that out do not have email. They might have Yahoo or AOL. So it's not automatically, you do have to enter it. So I hear what you're saying, because it can be misconstrued. So, just changing, it's a simple change to just say nominees email, nominees contact information, blah, blah, blah. And
Second
then,
page.
Yeah, it is on the second page. I see what you're saying. I think once it's updated, you should look at it.
Okay.
And then I can look at it, review it, and make sure it works and maybe test it.
And then the only other suggestion I had is maybe for number 10, it could be nominees website or social media
And
handle.
because I think sometimes it's, yeah.
Do you need any advice on the submission deadline? Are you gonna identify that?
Are we gonna go, by past, procedures? Because I think that lining out the timeline is really important, because we're right there now.
I think that the end of March is, I mean, I recommended that to Cicely and Dina to follow the timeline that we had established when we did it last. And I believe that the March 22nd, 2024 is 20,
That's a Sunday,
it was a Friday.
but this year it's Sunday, so maybe.
It was, right, so it could be it could be,
So make it the 20th of March,
Yeah.
by 4:30. All nominations, that this will close at that date, because I can set it to close and to close. From there, the selection committee.
yep.
And it's, I think, my other question is, publicizing the names of the selection committee members. We are auditable. Everything that goes on with this municipality is public. So we put out the press release. Have we in the past listed the names of the selection committee members? I think we did.
We did, but I don't recall if we did before.
Yeah, I think.
We didn't do it before, we did it after. It was after the awardee, when we announced the awardee.
Yeah.
Because we, do it prior, then people can get pressured.
No, I think it should not be done.
Right, but I think it's important that anybody that is on the selection committee know that your name will be publicized after,
Okay.
the awardee is selected.
Yeah.
Just so they know, because some people will not want to serve. Their names to be made.
Yep.
I'm
sorry.
I just was curious why relationship to nominee ended up being up on number 5. It just seems an odd. It implies that everyone's nominating their mother.
Yeah, well, it's like, how do you know the person that you're nominating?
No, I think it could just go, like, be later in the thing, because it does, I see what you mean, it feels slightly like,
Oh, move it down.
yeah, it could go, I mean, I think that would go better, with the nominee 2 year, and then, oh, by the way, what is your relationship?
It's an important.
I don't know that it's necessary, now that you're asking. Is it really necessary to?
I think it's better to know.
Yeah.
Well, my boyfriend.
Yeah.
Your boyfriend should be different.
Teacher, or it could be.
Oh, yeah, that could hold some weight.
Exactly.
Could hold some
That's
weight.
exactly why it's
Saying
important.
could be a professional affiliation, so they'd be in a good position to know.
Oh, I see, you're saying it's a good thing.
I'm saying like whatever it is, my boyfriend is not necessarily a professional, but he was the, director of the museum, that had my
Yeah.
retrospective is.
Yeah,
I would like to know that.
yeah, or a gallery might be. Something.
Okay.
And then from the perspective of the reviewers, having had just reviewed a bunch of applications,
great.
sometimes it's helpful if nominees email, phone number, after the narrative on why they should receive the award, right? Because you end up doing a lot of kind of scrolling to get to the meat. So if there's a repositioning to, the information that's only important if they end up then, advancing in the selection process.
Gotcha.
Two things, maybe as we move the relationship to nominee, maybe also mention relationship or professional affiliation, so that they can say, not just my friend for 20 years. Or,
You mean in the nominators?
no, where it says, it could say relationship or professional,
Oh, okay, relationship.
professional affiliation. And then I wanted to get around when the deadline for selecting the committee would be. When do we
That
know?
we should.
By
Yesterday.
Well, I mean, they don't necessarily need to be in place until, right, when they have to make this decision. Of course, we want them in place, but. like,
Yeah,
what's the
we have,
deadline?
I sent the documents.
Yeah.
That just need to,
Yeah.
you guys just need to decide.
Let's you and I have our little powwow. Yeah. We have that. But I think it's good to give people some in advance. I don't think it should be like, can you do this next week? It's probably
no,
just so
no.
they can make plans for themselves and also kind of spread the word.
Yeah, how are we going to spread the word?
How did we do this last year? Was it last year?
I think we should wait and talk about this during the marketing, public relations and outreach.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
most of what happened is a press release went out through Summer Smith. I think the Midtown Arts District put it in their newsletter and other commissioners spread the word through their affiliations, where it was appropriate. And, I mean, a lot of commissioners ended up nominating people, which I mean
That's
is
great.
totally valid.
But it never got into the local papers.
And then I think it did through Summer's press release. But I don't know if it got listed in Arts Mid-Hudson. And that kind of
Yeah, and
thing,
it's
so
really like the
we might need
newspapers
to
really
step up
easy
for
to
that.
miss. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. Let's think about that.
Yeah. Okay.
I think there was a social media announcement on the City of Kingston's Facebook and Instagram, which I think,
Mayor's newsletter.
Yeah.
But what drives the traffic is the boots on the ground at this table
Yeah.
and me. Just sending it out, asking people to send it to their lists and what have you. Last year, we only got 13 nominations, and I thought that was really unfortunate. So I think we can do better.
What is the goal? What have previous?
I don't know if it ever really got a huge amount of submissions, but I don't know for sure.
I mean, it's a problem with other such awards. You run in the streets begging people, reminding people. Yeah, people are like, oh, I've got 4 or 5 people I want.
I know,
and
but
then
to
they forget
sit
to go
down.
on.
Yeah.
But also to sit down and actually do it, it takes some time.
Right.
Really have to craft it. It's some hours to do.
I remember in 2021, it was very low because we had that suggestion of, well, let's maybe get some of the old people from the previous year. And so.
Right, but it's about reminding people, because as soon as I talk it up, everybody's got something. And I'm also on the County Executive Awards panel. And it's like just trying to get people to remember. And then making calls, it's like tomorrow's the deadline, you're not in here, and it's just a chase down. It really is.
Well, maybe the Ulster County Advisory Board? No.
Council is the different choice.
Yes, I'm just throwing.
Is it only for Kingston though?
Yes.
Are members of the Arts Division allowed to nominate?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
I have someone at the table who knows a lot of local artists.
Table.
And as far as the committee composition, there's got to be one commissioner on the selection committee, and the rest of them are from the community.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. No, it's the
Well, we're
chair.
not on the
The
committee.
chair is a non-voting facilitator.
Yeah.
And the panel is comprised of community members.
Okay.
Good save.
I was like, we did talk about that.
Yeah, we do. That I do remember. This is delicious.
Hey, this isn't quite, okay. All right. Anything else there?
Good.
All right.
We'll have
moving
a
on.
more fulsome, update next time.
Strategy and Funding Committee update.
Yes, so he's, I will speak for the committee, and DJ is probably swamped because he's not here yet. But you see the revised letter of support for Lisa Kelly's signature. Ruthann is applying for a Greenway grant. We're looking to start small. We had Lester Berg. Lester's on with us now. And we had his contact, Joyce, and we had DJ's contact, Linda, who did on the surface the assessment of the condition of the work progress administration. And between the two of them, without taking them off the wall, we knew it's about $40,000 is needed to repair. But after we take off the work, we need more. And we have some ideas about how to raise the funds, to go into the repair of the most precious collection in the city's possession. However, talking back and forth to Ruthann, this funding source would be a good start. Instead of going after all 11 in the collection, to just look at the two that are really pointing to Kingston, Bluestone and Brickyard, and, see if we can get it started to show people the before and after. So that's Ruthann's idea. It's due in a couple of weeks. So this is what she's asking me to present to the commission for comment, and then also the letter.
I was just to say, you and Ward both had mentioned, starting small, because.
But then other things happen. Other things happen, like I got an email today about the availability of decentralization funds. And it seemed to me that I don't know, I haven't read the guidelines, but whether you want to fund your operation with it, not, something like this, but take a good look.
What is that, Orksman Edson or something?
Is it, I wasn't sure, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that next.
Called decentralization now, it's called the community re-grant. Yeah.
But all of a sudden it's like, wait, we could apply for decentralization funds. Yeah.
So I just wanted your input on, where we go with that opportunity. It looks like they're looking for new applicants, new stuff. But I think that this is strong because this is very compelling. And
also the work that has been done
And it's for
has been
public.
professional.
Yeah.
So that's very important for this sort of thing.
I would say Greater Hudson Heritage, there's a NISCA Greater Hudson Heritage Conservation Treatment Award. It comes every year.
And who is the consultant?
Private, Priscilla? Maybe that would be a good thing to apply.
well, I talked to her about the grants that they have available, and she was not certain that we were eligible.
Oh, as a municipality or?
I'm not sure. But it's worth an ask when she recovers in a couple weeks to ask about that.
Oh, well, of course, this is about arts and events, and why not?
We're definitely going for it, we just don't know exactly.
That was what I wanted Ruthann sent it today, or DJ sent it today, and, you know, getting feedback from the commission. It's due very soon. So, you know, if we're gonna go after it, we really wanted to. So the thinking is that we should also go after, depending on, the guidelines. I didn't bring them, but, support for repair. Yeah.
And there are information sessions, so we could be more, clearer about what the
For
possible.
example, it's in the, I
Yeah.
think that's on the 13th, that's next week,
There are
right?
7
There's a lot.
Oh,
possibilities.
okay.
There's one on the
The
twenty-sixth.
in-person is,
Thirteenth.
shall I say, and then once, you have the same, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other ideas? Or is that the strongest? Because I just think that we really need to get this started and hang on the wall since the 30s. There's severe damage, not severe, but there's significant damage to one. There's a, you know, definite tear. But otherwise, you know, the temperatures, and this is what, you know, we want to talk about as far as the condition in this building. The temperatures in waver, sometimes it gets really, really hot. Other times in the summertime, it's really, really hot outside. For energy, savings, by Friday, the air conditioning is turned down. So it can get pretty warm in the building, so population and that precious work. I think Ward, you were talking about that too, as far as, and I know Priscilla Brendler went to their Q about, you know, the temperatures fluctuating. So when we're talking about what's needed to repair, what's needed to preserve, that might even go higher.
There's a reason not to make the temperature fluctuate as much if you want to preserve the city's precious collection. It's a choice.
It's a choice.
Even if it was in a particular area of the law, if you wanted to really conserve. One space could be temperature controlled and, you know, more precious.
If it's understated.
It doesn't mean that you can't turn the temperature of 5 degrees.
Right.
Do we know about light sensitivity? And whether it would be helpful to have just like a different kind of bulb?
Well, look at all the windows that we have in some of the offices. I come in some of the offices and I can't see. My eyes are sensitive anyway. But when the sun is directly facing this way, going into planning or going into the assessors, serious light, and those are exposed to UV. So it might be a matter of the UV protection on the windows. I mean, this goes beyond just the that's what Priscilla is funding for. To make those recommendations, we have a, you know, solid report on what's needed, so that we can go after those. Because there's some concerns. You
Some
know,
things are more sensitive
not
than
only,
others.
yeah, not only with the temperature, but also with the exposure because of the bright windows. The sun glare is really bad.
Where are those two paintings located
In
in the building?
the two, I don't know,
Bluestone and
I think in my 20,000 page report, I didn't bring it,
That's okay.
but I can let you know.
The good news is that oil paintings are less sensitive to light than other works
Yes.
or photographs.
I have just one recommendation on the letter in the last paragraph, it's to say Hudson Valley Greenway and everywhere else it's Hudson River Valley Greenway. Just to make that change.
Sorry. Say again.
It just should say Hudson River Valley Greenway.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Can I move? Because we just touched upon it with Hudson. 26 budget projections, that's somewhere here. It keeps changing. When I found out that we might be eligible for an additional 2,500 from the Ulster County Clerk's office. Because I'm really squeezing here. For a lot of people, like, yeah. But that's just contractual services only. The Common Council was gracious enough, and I thank them all the time to allocate 15,000 for our contractual services. And we also have NISCA funding, as you know, for 10. So we've got 25,000. And I presented the NISCA to you, but what I'm going to do, because I think that we need a separate meeting for budgeting and to iron all this out. So I might ask everybody to join me for a lunchtime Zoom on this and just send you, you know, everything the way it's laying out. The Greenway requires a match. So Roseanne asked me, and I said, okay, I'm going to squeeze something out of here. I'm going to squeeze something out of there so we can look at it and see it, because I don't like playing truth or dare with that. With the 2,500, that can change and, you know, give us more to work with. I've only put, as you see, 6,000 for phase 2. That's all going to depend on what Priscilla Brendler gets done. And as it's duly noted, not only by me, others, and the mayor, her proposal is so ambitious. We're wondering how she can get all that done for so little money, but she's willing to do that. So when it comes down to phase 2, or phase 1 inventory part B, we have to just see. So I just put 6,000 there with faith that I can actually raise more money for phase 2. Because there's little pockets of funding here and there. So, you know, we really just want to keep our eyes open. But for now, I just allocated 6,000. And, you know, we'll see where we go from there. So let me just say, I'm going to just send everything. And then if I can get just some comments, suggestions. And again, I'm really happy to hear that there's more money that can be added and more opportunities for other projects. And we'll see what happens. So moving on to strategy and funding committees, master plan conversation. That's a biggie for me. Because when that's not there, because we all have the copy of the master plan that was worked on during COVID using data pre-COVID.
Yeah.
And sold. And a lot of it, and I've been saying it, a lot of what's in that master plan is germane to Philly, New York City, big cities, not little small town Kingston that does not have one major employer. So I'm asking to revisit and, you know, to actually, because, you know, I remember that there was even a Kingston Arts Commission retreat to study the master plan. And I didn't get much direction when they came out of it, because a lot is just not understood. It's very ambitious. When I came on board, I said that. I was surprised I got hired, because I said, this is ambitious, this is unfeasible. This doesn't belong in Kingston. I could see that right away before I came here. But there's a lot that does belong in Kingston. It just has to be, we just have to make it make sense for Kingston. So I don't know how you want to approach this.
It's a really important thing.
It is a very important thing.
And it's not going to get done in our small monthly meeting.
No. It needs to be, there needs to be a committee that really works on it, and actually should be, I would think should be sort of merged with the strategy, funding and strategy.
Well, that's what we talked about, right?
Yeah, right.
So so the funding strategy committee has recommended, and everyone would love to get your opinion about it, is that we can commence the beginnings of trimming the fat of it, like, and making recommendations to removing things that are no longer viable or even realistic for this city, and start there. And then, so we'll do it in phases, and then bring on a committee to then work on the parts that we want to keep, or develop new sections that need to be added.
I would say psychologically, it is not always the smartest thing to start with
Slash and burn.
with trimming fat, as opposed to acknowledging what the most important.
Right.
Okay, so, yeah,
Thank you.
if you want to reframe, that's good.
You
Positive
have some
refrain.
very- Things that you've been thinking are very important that we haven't gotten.
And then Trump trimmed a lot of fat.
Well, that's a good point because once, when I first got here, I was getting a lot of calls from organizations to help with grants. And individuals can review my grants. Then it got heavier for me. And a lot of the individual artists here are struggling. And there's really nothing with any meat on those bones in this master plan that speaks to individual artists and how we were going to keep them here. I have talked 3 kids into moving because there's no major employers here. They're knee deep in student loan debt with their BFAs and MFAs. And I even had to leave this area back in the day.
Yeah.
If I was going to get a resume, it wasn't going to happen here at IBM. I didn't go to school. I didn't go to college to go work in a manufacturing distribution or manufacturing company. I came to, do what I was put on this earth to do. And I got all that in DC. I didn't get anything here. I got my resume in DC and then I came here and I was very employable. But, it's very difficult here. I've got kids who are couch surfing.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Sleeping on the floors in their studios, washing up at their sinks in their studios, door dashing in their broken down cars, and I don't have any answers for them. I used to have a lot of answers, but I just don't right now. And I think that Richard and Lisa and DJ and I talked about it during this week's strategy and funding committee. This goes to economic development. I'm hearing a lot about affordable housing and that's lovely. But it's not affordable if nobody can find a job that can pay. What is the formula for affordable in this county? It's not reachable because we have retail as our primary economic driver. The arts economy is one thing because we get tourists to come up and, look at all the pretty art. But without the artists and without us taking care of them, figuring out a way, and I don't have the answers, and I really count on your wisdom to give me the answers, give me the direction on how we can keep these young artists here, because these are the people that we're handing the tons down to. And I just don't have the answers, but I know that we do have them. But a lot of it happens, like when I got here with my workforce economic development background, I was really excited to see economic development on the website. And I thought that there was an economic development department in the city of Kingston. And that excited me. And it's like, okay, that we can work in tandem because economic development is tourism, is arts, the arts economy. But we don't have an economic development office here in Kingston. And I'm not sure about the Economic Development Office in Ulster and where their priorities are. But I do know that being here for 4 years, I haven't really seen major employers come into the county, into Kingston. And, unlike Orange County, very aggressive, Dutchess, even Sullivan, there's a problem here. And it goes beyond affordable housing. It goes beyond helping the homelessness. We can make the quality of life a lot better, but we need something to work with. And I'm just kind of at a loss now as to how that's going to happen. And perhaps I need to be redirected because it is my background. I have to be working with somebody who is in business attraction here. For the benefit of everybody, but also for young people across all sectors. This is not a problem that just popped up for our young people that want to come home and find an apartment and work here. I got a call from a mother 2 years ago. Her daughter got her master's degree away in STEM, something STEM. She had a full-time job at Ulster County Community College and couldn't find an apartment, not even a closet, under $1,900. So could she take that job because her parents are living in senior housing? They can't bring her back home. So I know the mayor's working as hard as
People
they
go
work.
and look to Sullivan County, where the rents are cheaper and they work here.
That's a big commute.
Yeah,
and
and it's really hard with
I do it.
I did it. My commute from New Paltz to Sullivan was 52 miles one way. It burned up my car. Because I had 2 mounts.
Oh, you were doing.
Yeah, I was doing that. So I remember those.
maybe 2 working groups, one to trim the fat and the others to.
Well, who are the groups that we talked to?
Identify.
Ward brought this up before.
I know.
Okay, about where this it's called a business alliance, and I don't know what that means. That's what I mean about getting direction. But we have the Midtown Business Alliance, we have Kudo, we have these groups. And I don't know if that
I think you're talking about more what the business development people do. That's more about in Ulster County, because those are established businesses that have formed their organizations and that's seemingly sort of how they work, but I don't know about drawing. But no, this is a huge problem. I mean, it's way beyond artists. It's a problem here.
across all sectors.
And it's a problem with us here in Ulster, as you say. We don't have the big employers. We're still like, really, there's a lot of agricultural. There's also a lot of second homes, and that's really been exacerbated since
A
COVID.
lot of dispensaries, that's a frustration for me. It's a personal one. You know,
Why?
like every time I turn around, like here's a testimony. One of, the young artists that came to me, was it last year? She was very upset because she was being evicted. She got a formal eviction notice. Now, this kid has I shouldn't call them kids.
You can call them kids.
They're my babies, okay? But she's working like 2, 3, 4 hustle jobs. She does her art at night at home, because that's how you live here. She's paying her rent on time. There was no problem with her. She's a great tenant. But she got an eviction notice, and her landlord told her that the reason why she's giving her an eviction notice is because she just got a license from New York State to turn the site into a dispensary so she can make money. So between the Airbnbs and the dispensaries that are popping up all over the place, I know there's a tax revenue thing there, but what kind of jobs are these kids going to get in the dispensaries that's going to help
No,
them?
those are more retail.
It's retail,
Yeah.
you know,
So
so
it's not.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we could just hunker down and look at where the priorities are, the doables, the attainables for, you know, what I do with my time. I'm really proud of us as far as the 7 awards that we've, you know, won from the community, Mohawk consultations, blah, blah, blah. I'm really proud of that. That's, you know, the way I was thinking when I came on board. I was told that we have to have exhibitions. And I also look at the hours we're open. We're open during regular business hours, 8:30 to 4:30. We're closed on weekends when the tourists get here. So what kind of exposure, and I hate that word, but what kind of exposure does that give to the artists on our wall, other than to have a pretty wall? So what I've been doing is, for our openings, I've been having these events that draw people, hundreds, into this building, not only to follow their performing artists, but they come down here and they're looking. And last year, I'm looking at the successes of 3 artists saying, I've sold my work, I've gotten 2 major shows, da 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 da. So I'm creating this whole USA 250 series. Points back to this. It always points back to this exhibition. Everything that we're doing this year points back to the exhibition and helping these individual artists to get noticed. But that's all I can do. That's the best I can do, and that's no money. You know, when you look at these sold piece of art, $2,000. What? That's not gonna pay the rent and dues. It's not gonna take you and carry you over. So, you know, DJ, let me in.
Yeah, I mean, it's
So,
just it's so tough. It's really tough.
We need to move on, so I need to know how we want to approach this. Richard and I and DJ, we're going to have a meeting to figure out a beginning of a recommendation plan. And then we could start working groups, but if everyone feels that we should do it differently,
You know what?
I'm open to it.
I really appreciated everybody's devotion to the public art policy and municipal art collection plan. How many meetings did we call? Lunchtime Zoom work sessions? And just that everybody in this room, Maggie, so everybody came to these, you know, and we got it done. Do we need a facilitator? Government money. Do I need to move this budget around? Do we need an outside facilitator? Because you know what, we're in the weeds here. We're in the trenches. We got our boots on the ground. Do we need an outside expert facilitator to come in and look at this and study it and advise, or do you think we can do this art?
I'll just, from my opinion, from my perspective, because I've been reading this thing for 5 years, I'm ready to take a black marker and go zip, 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 and that's what I mean. That's where I'm coming from. If everybody else wants to do that, in any manner you want, circle the things you want to enhance, circle the things you want to enhance. But I mean, I feel like we're all really familiar, most of us are really familiar with this document.
Yeah, if we have if we have a facilitator, it can come later when we see what we need, if we need it. You know, I wouldn't start with it. I would start with, frankly, more than just the three of us even, you know, just,
Well, like I said, I mean, we'll have, if we call the lunchtime Zooms, I was told that even Andre Schott said, how did you get all these people back? I just have a loyal group of people that really mean it. And, you know, everybody showed up. I mean, everybody didn't make every single meeting, but the majority of this mission made just about all of them. And we got it done.
What Ward did like a year ago, he just made an email and he highlighted the things that he thinks that we should focus on. What if everybody did that?
Well, just know my number one is taking care of these individual artists any way we appreciate we can. We know that with Ward, it's
Business
it
association.
revolves around the business alliance, where whatever that means and wherever the directives are for me to get done. With others, as you see the need here, because your areas are different and your services to Kingston. You know, there's education, there's business owners, there's, you know, the art experts.
Well, the one area that we often ignore is history, local history and culture.
yeah, it is the arts and culture department.
Vision.
And that's what we've been doing through the arts, is telling the local history through the arts. But is there more? We need signage, we need.
Some aspects we
Something-
do, others.
But we don't have what Asheville is. Because when I walk around Asheville, I'm walking and walking, and all of a sudden I look down and there's a plaque. And I'm standing there for 15 minutes reading what happened here. And it's just so cool.
This is,
I don't know if that's what wayfinding means.
yes, it is exactly and I think Laura brought that up at that meeting.
No, I'm talking about the wayfinding initiative that the mayor is working on with Henry Flint. I don't know.
No.
What.
No,
That's fine.
That's different.
Okay.
But this is a wayfinding that we're really approaching communities, approaching the history. I mean, we're still a very divided city, and we're I don't want to say siloed, I guess, you know, in different groups. And we have all these festivals, you know, we have the Irish festival, the Italian festival, the African American festival, and there's something that we're not helping to pull together in that, and it's that's the kind of wayfinding that really
And
would have a purpose and a meaning, and
yeah, and I think I agree that there's a lot of segregation, and it's also become a much more transient city than it was. So there are like a lot of newcomers, and then there are the old folks and this and that. But one thing, I had a meeting with Granny, who's just cycled off of the common council, and we were just talking about even doing more of an effort of like block parties, like really on a much more like micro, and then trying to build. And then because it's very difficult to get people to cross boundaries. Like long story, I won't get into it, but I have like very, very progressive neighbors on one side, and then Semper Fi, you know, Marine, and then a guy who thinks COVID vaccine is Bill Gates controlling us. So, and then the lady who's the deacon at the Old Dutch Church, and this is all on my little Plymouth Avenue. So even though we're all cordial, and if anything ever happened, they would all help. But let's not ever talk politics. So I hope that there's some things that we can do that are kind of micro in that way, where we could have some kind of arts component.
we can talk art. That's exactly what us.
But also art, small art, not big art.
Art is in many things. It's many things.
Art is
Art is communication.
Making
Art is and it is, you know, to me, art is also represents survival skills. And this is the kind of thing that, you know, we talk about the economy, we talk about things that are happening right now and threaten to happen. And that's about survival. Yeah.
I just want to go back to history for one moment.
Yeah.
One of the things that it has been for a very long time a kind of sad aspect of Kingston is that while Kingston has this extraordinarily long history, and it has very significant history organizations. The history organizations do virtually nothing to reach out to their community.
Yeah.
And it is, and how to address that. I mean, I nearly fell down when the Senate House did that tour, the walking tour. It's like, what? They're actually, reaching out to the community in the slightest bit, and the Friends of Historic Kingston in the same way. And I don't know how. I don't want to discuss it now, but I'm wondering whether this should be part of one of our goals for our strategic plan.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the Rear Center is part of it, but we try our very, very best, to reach out to the community. But those other organizations have a lot more resources.
So,
So I guess, what do we think about my proposal to just, go into lunchtime Zoom work sessions on this? And start to put some viable,
Was that with a V or a B?
viable.
And I'm sorry, this is to focus on, let's call it like reshaping the plan so that it makes
Yes,
more sense.
updating it.
Yes, updating, good idea. Updating. Because the strategic plans need to be updated every 3 years anyway.
Yeah.
And, when you're talking COVID and planning during COVID, when I was looking at the final, I'm like, this is subject to change next year as the, COVID relief funds get expended, because a lot of people were getting comfortable with those.
Well, we were doing it when Bobby Kennedy Jr. was our advisor, weren't we?
Can I ask a question? Is there a PDF of the master plan?
On Engage Kingston.
It's on Engage Kingston, okay, because I have one, but I don't think it was a final one, and I can pick it off with Engage Kingston, okay.
Yeah.
Because that's important for being able to work on it. I don't like to work from the book.
I remember when Ruth Ann was working night and day to get that.
Yeah, and I have, that's what I think I got, like,
That's when I got
the version I have.
Patty had left. She did not have a assistant, and she was working on the master plan, and she was just wearing 10 hats. It was crazy.
It'll be interesting to see what was accomplished.
Yeah.
Unintended, just by.
And you're looking at the master plan, and it doesn't say that Kit Potter does it all. It doesn't say the Kingston Arts Commission does it all. Some of it says that the Common Council does it. And I never understood what was expected of the Common Council to do this.
Let's update.
Yeah.
That's the part that I said that was unfeasible to me, because the assignments were going to non-existent people. And that a tactical strategic plan has names. XYZ will do this by this. There was no timeline. There was, there was a timeline, but it was broad. So I do appreciate this, it's a good starting point. I do love the economic impact study. I think that is full exercise, getting data that pointed to the arts reinvesting 160 million back into the Kingston economy was brilliant. Because it got everybody's attention, because I had naysayers on Common Council that didn't understand why until I pointed to the numbers, as everybody sees. And even in my end year report to the mayor, Ruth Ann said, use the Americans for the Arts Economic Impact Calendar. And as Richard pointed out, the Common Council allocated 15 grand in contractual services. And because the events drew 11,000 or more people, we reinvested 16 to 17,000. So actually it was reinvested into the local economy. It's hard to see that when it's not like dollars. But when you have a calculator like that with people that work this hard for us to allow us to generate that so that we show the numbers, that means something. So I don't know how, and again, that's why I'm going to, do we need to look at a consultant that's gonna come back and do another economic analysis, because things have changed. You know, we have a different economy, we have different leadership in the federal government. We have a lot of things going on that are hurting our local businesses. So I think that we need to look at the whole picture.
Yeah. And just frigging cost of living, like it used to be an affordable place to live.
A lady mentioned that, wasn't it at the Common Council or something, I saw, lady said that, around before COVID, $700 for a small one bedroom, and now it's 20.
22 to 25.
Yeah, that's a short amount of time to have that.
But like,
going up
as you say, but like no jobs to, so it's like it's like people who are wealthy coming in or who have other, economic sources, or they're not working, they're working in the city.
Have generational wealth.
Right, yep, exactly.
Or saying, I know I can get it. I'm raising your rent because I know I can get it. So you're welcome to leave.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody will come in, whether it's a couple or whether it's five people share an apartment, it's.
So we need to move on, I think, from here. You'll be following up with some times or.
Sure, if everybody agrees that we can go to lunchtime Zooms on this, and then I'll work hard to make sure that we have agenda items to hone in on, maybe some examples, and maybe some guests.
And in the meantime, everyone has a copy of the master plan or knows where to get it and can start to find sweet comb suggestions. So we could just hit the ground running with these. I know everyone's prep time is precious, but if we could knock it out, I think we can do it. We've done it before, we can do it again.
This is DJ. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can see you.
I see you.
Okay, it is 58 pages, everybody, so it's not a little take-home exercise. I downloaded mine and started reading it with my red pen. So it's going to take a little bit of investment of your personal time, nights or weekends or whatever. And I guess someone's going to be circulating dates and we all can meet up. Kit, was that you?
I'll doodle poll.
Okay. I'm just making the note of it. I just want to make sure I haven't been yet.
Moving on. Marketing, public relations and outreach.
Yeah.
I'd like to open with, yes, we're very challenged here. Summer is a party of one. And I think we have our official advisor here. I think that she's funded for salary only. Is that what I saw in the budget?
I don't know, I'll have to check.
Yeah, but she doesn't have much to work with.
She does not have much to work with.
Okay.
It's mostly digital promotion and marketing is what she does because that doesn't cost money.
We were compromised on social networking. So we are limited into the amount of social networking that we can do.
I'm sorry, do you mean posting or do you mean like using funds to promote?
No, I'm talking about using Facebook and then having people comment, just post
Posting.
bio. So she had to kind of shut down comments, discussions. It was great when it could be interactive, but it's just compromised. So
Like
what?
the Daily Freeman comment.
Oh, you mean like you had to shut it down because it was.
Well, she had to limit the discussion of the comments, because again, the stuff that was coming in was just outrageous.
It was overwhelming.
It's just awful. So, and I was attacked too, and I don't know, I mean, we just sit behind computers and we attack public officials, so yeah, we have fun that way. So, and the mayor probably gets attacked 1,000 times a day. And I got a lot of it is just really inappropriate, and just something had to be done. But also what she has to work with is, again, she has no staff. So if you're looking at a party of one, and this is a small town that operates like a big city, there's so much going on. But as far as the arts are concerned, anything that she puts out gets swamped with whatever's going on right
Parks and Rec and, all the affordable, the housing that's being built,
Press
everything else,
releases.
everything else. There's a
See,
lot
a
going
few
on.
a day with really serious stuff going on, hearings, everything. So when you're looking at all that, there's a need for us to have our own marketing plan. As we know, it's very difficult to raise funds for marketing. It's not impossible, but we do, I think, need a viable plan to market what we do, get the word out. I mean, I've seen the suggestions out here. I'm a party of one too. There's a lot on the plate. I wish I could do more.
So for like events, for like the exhibition that just opened, that sort of thing, that's a marketing.
I count on the presenters, you know, the reason why, you know, as I report, you know, the estimated attendance, you know, eyeball or other, because I usually, you know, I have this read of the room once we get the crowd in. For the Burning Kingston event last year, the reason why Friday, the enslaved women stories was standing room only was because of the people that were on the stage. Each individual on that stage had massive, and they bought them in. But for the rest of the weekend, scant.
Oh, really?
Because we had no marketing.
Okay.
So it's really, I don't know what your suggestions might be, but, you know, for marketing and outreach, public relations, audience development, bringing people to understand what we're doing, as Ruth Ann said, they need to hear what's going on with the Work Progress Administration and need to understand the history of that, the significance of that, how that president loved artists so much that he used a lot of money to make sure they could stay alive. In the Work Progress Administration catalog, that story was built by the Museum Studies students who did work on cataloging that. You know, the FDR days of the Work Progress Administration, and everybody was, you know, the artists that were selected were paid that for that day significant amount of money to do some fine art. We don't have it like that right now. But people don't really know the stories. They come in and they see all this nice stuff on the wall, but they don't know the story. So one of the ideas that I have that you see in my report is to bring all of the collection downstairs in our newly lit gallery and have a special event around that to bring awareness of the time and how historically significant these paintings are, not only for the local area, but just for the arts itself. And
I'm not understanding.
okay,
You take the collection pieces off the walls of the offices in which they are and put them in the hallways for this purpose?
for a special exhibition, and
And how long would that
that
last?
would be a month. That's what Dan's idea, not mine. I'm not taking credit.
No, I'm trying to imagine what your colleagues in the city who work here would, how they would respond to that, that's all.
Well, when I brought it to to Taylor Brock, the historians, Eddie Moran and what have you, Paul O'Neill, they're excited about something like that. Because they have a whole lot to talk about with the work progress, just like the lunettes.
No, I'm just talking about, the best works are hanging in the engineering department. You know, I'm happy if you say that the members of the engineering department would be pleased to have their work taken off their walls and put elsewhere for a month to show the rest of the city what riches the city has. Or are you going to say to them, we'll replace these works with contemporary work by local
Oh,
artists?
it's only a
for this,
month.
It's enough. It's actually, we can ask if someone who works in this building right here.
I don't think around this is a big ask.
Okay, thank
But I
you.
haven't even gotten.
I just want to raise it now.
But I'm having this conversation with the commission as an idea to get the word out. Because I have limited resources
To
to
build a
marketing.
program around it, you're saying.
So I'm building a program around it to build awareness. But also, as far as the marketing is concerned, I really am at a loss because I don't have a marketing budget to speak of. I might have a few dollars to give to a graphic artist to get me some flyers, but other than that, you know, we don't have like a social networking guru that we can pay $1,000 to pump it out there.
You
Like,
wouldn't even need that. I mean, you could really hyper target, but you do need a budget to do it online.
Well, the last meeting, we talked about the potential formation of a committee
Just try to do the social media.
to outline recommendations from our perspective, because it was a really productive, I thought it was a productive conversation around what marketing needs are required for arts and culture events, and which is different than municipal events. Other types of municipal announcements. And there is a distinction that we need to help clarify. Whether or not that's gonna garner any money, I think that it might help us to understand what is needed on a commission end. Perhaps there's some way we can, resource it. I don't know, maybe not our own time and energy, but maybe a volunteer or other committee members. So anyway, I just.
Because before the meeting, Dina, representing, tourism, they just finished the meeting and Dina asked, what do I need? And, especially for bringing up Kingston and other, I need all the support for marketing I get. So perhaps that can be a conversation with the tourism folks at Ulster County. Also, the website. We don't have the new website up yet, but once it's up, perhaps there can be a conversation with Summer on how the website is going to be, new website is going to benefit us. So a couple conversations I can't really answer.
One thing that I'm wondering is, what about a student high school? We could do,
Yes.
we can, we can do, online marketing with their hands tied behind their back and, and not think about it. I mean, what about an internship program with the high school?
They're right there.
I can't supervise it because it's not my specialty area. So I would
Also, it
think
takes a lot
someone,
of time to manage.
Well, maybe a conversation with a teacher or somebody who maybe there's a club, are there clubs or somebody?
Some kind of
Yeah,
curriculum.
there might be a club that might want to get involved in marketing.
Do they study Kingston history here?
The state requires local history to be studied in like fourth and eighth grades.
It's local, like down to the municipal level?
I don't know, local history.
At the last meeting, there were several of commissioners that seemed keen on this conversation. And that's why I'm bringing it back up that at a proposed committee to throw these ideas around to come up with a list of recommendations. A short-term ad hoc committee to really just suss it out.
And this is just about the market.
Yeah, marketing, public relations, outreach, yeah. I mean, I think if anything, putting all this in one document versus, just one-offs in a room would be more productive.
My recommendation is always talk to Helen Toomer. Like, start with talking to Helen Toomer. Like, really, I think that, well, I don't quite know, but I don't think any of us in this room are specialized in marketing and communications, although we all work in adjacent fields and have done it in some capacity, right? So, but there's somebody who is marketing mastermind that has affection towards the commission and to Kingston and has headquarters here and runs the Upstate Art Weekend, and I think would just be
Yep.
successful and generous and community minded. So I think I had ideas in our last meeting. Of course, the first one was always talk to Helen, but for three of us to have monthly Zooms about it wouldn't be nearly as productive as having consultation from somebody that actually does this and actually knows.
Would you recommend inviting Helen to a meeting?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Absolutely. And having this very agenda item be the topic of conversation with her.
do you know her?
Can you?
Yeah, I do. And I know she's busy, but I also know she's generous with her time. So I could ask you, also mention that you've been in touch with
I
her.
did. Yeah, and then we lost touch when Upstate Arts Weekend started. And then I got really super busy. So
When is
never really had a
that
conversation.
weekend? Is that over the summer?
Yeah, this year it's gonna
Fall.
be end of June. I think it's June It's usually in July, but it's earlier this year.
Okay, so we need to get her as soon as possible.
March
Yeah,
meeting
perfect.
perhaps, or April meeting?
What's not February?
It depends on what's the priorities are.
See what her availability.
Okay, I'll do that.
Is Sophie doing that? I missed it. Sorry.
I'll reach out to Helen Toomer
Thank you.
to go to a meeting to,
Yeah.
I mean, it does all point to, from all of the marketing experts that backed me up when I was at Maverick, a beautiful website. That's a challenge that we have that I don't think is going to be rectified. So we have to work around that.
All right, so it's 5:31. Director's update.
I can move through it pretty quickly. You have my epistle. But this is the end of the year report. I'm gonna just point to, because it includes everything that I've presented to you for the year. But page 3, give the feedback from our last exhibition opening. The one thing that, you know, the internal criticism was that it was too long. But so many of the artists really appreciated that it wasn't overcrowded. Because, you know, the shorter these events are, the more crowded they get in a short amount of time. And people, I really do not want to host super spreaders. You know, right around that time, this nasty flu was going around and people dropped like flies throughout the whole holidays, and it's still happening. Patrons were loving the performing. This is not something that I want to do every year, but you only turn 250 years old but once. And so, yes, it was a major event. It was a signature event. We have the video now. Hudsey was requested by Radio Kingston. I'm just so grateful because we have a beautiful video. So the video is now up on the City of Kingston's YouTube channel. So the whole entire video is there. It archives.
Is it edited or is it like?
No, it's the straight through.
Okay.
But yeah, it's beautiful. But you know what, if we needed, you know, the more that, you know, if Radio Kingston supports everything that we do, you know, their videos were kind of grainy, you know, they would have their camera kind of grainy, but Hudsey can take this
They really do.
and they can bring it down to 5 minutes, but they can also go to whatever pictures we have and everything like that. So, that's part of the marketing that, you know, we just don't have. We just don't have that 3 minute, like one of the marketing experts that work with me at Maverick, hit me in 3 minutes or you lose me. Hit me with a video and you got me, because so many people do not want a whole lot to read. You know, they just want to click because our eyes are tired and they just want to see the action. So, you know, we're challenged with this, but again, if Radio Kingston, I was told all I have to do is ask, please record it, please videotape it, and that's it. But they can't edit it for us, so that might be, you know, something in the budget by the end of this year. Or something that we can also add to our marketing plan to just have some, you know, money for Hudsey so that they can, the video, let's just say that the video, I don't know if everybody's seen it. If not, I will send it. When we had the peace tree planting with Native Americans a couple of years ago, they filmed the whole thing, and that video that they cut down to like a few minutes, ending with Gloria Wazelin just turning around with the parrot for peace on her shoulder. It's powerful. So if we could get more of that going, I think that, you know, that would help as well, because I know that, you know, when I look at Helen Toomer's website, it's gorgeous. So if we have a video that we can put somewhere and point people to it, great, but yeah, some work has to be done.
Getting back to Helen for a second, I think we have to think a little bit about what we want her to be talking to us about.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe in the invitation, we spell out our concerns and you know, what we need help with specifically, and whether she'd be into a conversation with us about it.
Yeah.
And make it, I mean, I think it's okay to make it a bit general and not 300 items, because it will keep her away.
Well, our main challenge is that we really don't have a great website. And most people that you know have successful events, they point to a great website. There's a workaround to that. I'm not sure what that is. You know, there's always a solution.
I mean, even Facebook, in some ways, people are doing less websites actually and using more social media,
Yeah.
which is a lot more dynamic and less.
And I see the conversation is not just being about the promotion of our events, but also the promotion of our artists, right?
Yeah.
And how that, you know, they're one and the same in a way, and that, right.
I think that's why also like updating the plan and really getting focused on what the most important aspects where we really put our energy into is going to be important.
Yeah, there's also the concept of a splash page for the arts and cultural, office, something that's easily updated by the director, or even a link tree to be able to direct you to specific parts instead of this like massive try to tear down website that you can't navigate.
Right.
But there are some short-term easy solutions that can be effective.
Yeah, I would think that two things. One, before you invite Helen, you would want to make sure, have a set of priorities that you can identify so that she can be, provide feedback on that. And
Yeah, that's why I was suggesting a very short-term committee to be able to identify
Yeah.
these priorities.
yeah,
Not to solve all the problems, but to actually have something to work with.
yeah.
But
Maybe more.
Like a smaller committee rather than a lunchtime.
yeah, I wasn't suggesting a lunchtime thing. It was just about capturing all the ideas and the challenges, because I don't know if Kit has a full scope of that from your vantage point. That's what I was suggesting. But
And meeting in person.
yeah, even if it's just a discovery meeting, like, right, these are the priorities, these are the challenges, like, this is what we're used to being in arts and cultural organizations, and this is not what's happening in the city. I think that just having a one sheet for Helen to be able to review would be really helpful. So.
Is there any way to find out, like, let's say, for instance, your organization, do you get data from, your social media website, and your newsletters that you send out?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so to give us some feedback about what is the most effective, so that we can sort of figure out.
I don't know, because I'm not a marketing expert.
Right, but I mean,
I've done some great webinars, but.
Right, if someone is collecting that data, it would be interesting to know.
For the city.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, and for other organizations in the city, to understand like where are people finding this
Well,
information?
so it's interesting you bring that up because it reminds me of a conversation I had with Jeremy from Art OMI. And he said that their institution did a bunch of analytics, a bunch of like really granular research into their marketing strategies and what was working and what wasn't. And one of the most surprising and illuminating results from it was that most people found out about their programming through word of mouth. And they had spent, even though you don't necessarily always have to spend $1 gazillion on social media, they had. And that, definitely that brought some people in the door and probably reached different people, but word of mouth.
Yeah, without a doubt. And also the thing is, unless you're actually purchasing social media, it does not, it's very algorithmed and manipulated. You have no idea whether or not your folks are actually receiving messages that you want. So actually email, which is like you're saying, send it to your list, send it to your, is still one of the more frankly powerful, or even text if you have text groups or.
And I would say, in fact, you can assume that if you're not spending a lot of money on a social media campaign, it will not reach your followers, or it will only reach a very small percentage of your followers.
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that because Jeremy and I worked together on the Woodstock Cultural Alliance when I was at Maverick and Gates in Berkeley. And when I was at Maverick, I had 2 investment bankers on my board who were not giving me a marketing budget, and I was really upset about that. And NEA was making us do a survey every year. Number one, way that you heard about us, word of mouth. Number two, your website. Number three, your brochures, because we paid, the printing company some money to spray our brochures all over the region. So those are the two, but the number one was word of mouth.
But word of mouth gets prompted by social media too. By those who.
So this was actually a friend telling a friend, come with me to.
So-
And I think that's going on now because we have a reputation. But I think it also pointed to the website and it pointed to the brochure.
So we're talking about like your events right now, marketing these events, not marketing arts in Kingston.
We're talking about both. That's what Sophie was saying, especially and to the benefit of our individual artists. Like we have a section in our website that just lists all the arts organizations, but you know.
Well, I think, I mean, I know you guys are just getting started, but I remember in the Imagine Ulster, one of the things is to have this kind of more of a database in terms of exchange and
Yes.
resources.
Marketing was key, and that fits into sort of the fact.
So it'll be great
working in tourism, so extending marketing. Yeah,
and to see
marketing
what
was key.
you're doing, so there's not something that we're doing that's so we can be supporting, but.
So anyway, we've got very little time.
Yes, we do.
And this is a great conversation and I really, so, I say it again and again, I thank you all because I stand on your shoulders with everything that I do. Our New Year's Eve event was not as well attended. I couldn't make it because I was sick. Pastor Liz, I mean, we are partners with Old Dutch for that event because there were super spreaders going on in the place and a lot of people were sick. But anyway, it was still a beautiful event and people were inspired and encouraged. As you know, we got two grants last year, 3,000 from Arts Mid Hudson, thanking them for, supporting our 250th event. And then 10,000 for NISCA that is supporting the 200 USA 250 series for the year.
Yes.
And as we spoke before, we're going after some more for the Work Progress Administration. I talked about my serious concerns about individual organizations. And then on page 17, you see goals, the listing being not mutually exclusive. We're working on that. We're working on, upgrading and updating the strategic plan, but we're also looking at putting together a viable marketing. That's page 17, which,
That's big.
there you go. So it's generic. But I really am looking forward to some really good conversations on, pinpointing where I should be, where we feel all the people that have the boots on the ground here, you, both countywide, but you also are looking at the county seat of Kingston and seeing, we're talking housing. I know Bartek is doing a great job. I'm not worried about that. I don't know how one person in that division can do any better. But we still have the problem of, everything that we talked about at this meeting. So that's all I have for you, and attached, you do still have the recommendations from the two conservators that did a preliminary assessment of the repairs needed to the WPA. I just wanted to make sure you still have that. I will send this up. This update is on the website. So you can just go to the City of Kingston meetings calendar and you see the Arts Commission meetings, and you click on that, going back, you'll see all of my updates, you see all the agendas.
Do we need to spend the last 5 minutes in executive session?
I would like to, but I really don't think it's necessary.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, we can actually, talk offline about, anything that I needed to discuss. I'm looking forward really to, and I'm thankful for, the new department, of Ulster County, the Arts and Culture and Spaces and Dina's division. Again, I walked away so inspired from the awards, the Social Awards. And I mean, there was a full big church full of kids and parents, and I was, and that was done within a matter of weeks. And I think that from that connection that you can help me in connecting to, the youth here. And like I say, maybe the youth can, your youth represented in the selection committee, And I'm looking forward to hearing how more, what I'm doing engages youth. And again, internships is kind of complicated here because we're civil service, but, you know, we do it through MAD, you know, MAD's Hugsters are my docents. They can help with the installs. How else can we work with the youth serving organizations? Because they're covered by insurance. There's only a pitfall here. To, you know, bring the youth to work with some of the things that we're doing.
They love it. They're so proud to work in City Hall.
Yeah.
Wonderful City Hall.
Yes. Well, thank you, Kit, for the very extensive reporting and all of the energy that you put towards providing this programming and the funding and everything for the city. Yeah, you've helped evolve this office in new and wonderful ways. So I, for one, am grateful for your work.
Thank you.
Me too.
These are
Any other comments? We got 3 minutes to tell everybody how great they are. Who's next? Sue Cahill, you're amazing.
You are.
Everything. Oh, gosh.
How does this meeting compare to the other ones, the commissions?
But I mean, they all have their own little. They're all different. Yeah, they're different. They're all focused on.
Oh God, Sue Cahill for mayor. That was a political comment.
That's why I asked to be assigned to this.
Thank you.
I come to the meetings anyway, through it out.
Exactly.
I didn't like them, I'd be sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's gonna end. Yeah.
So can we, because we're still on live.
Yeah, so can I get a motion to adjourn? Board?
I second.